And now we will start the setup steps by putting in customers and vendors and learning how to edit their information. You need data on both customers and vendors. We know that customers are the people whom you sell your products and service to, and vendors are those who sell you products and services so you can run your business. It's good to have a Rolodex to access any of their information, but the most important reason to put in their information is that you need to choose their names from a list when making transactions with any particular customer or any particular vendor. Here is our customer data. This is not all the information that QuickBooks Online can hold. Obviously, I left out things like phone number, email address, and website. I just gave you a small sample of the data that you would put in, and you could always go back and edit the customer's data and add the extra information that we did not include. We click Sales and then go to Customers. If this is the first time going to the customer list, you will get this little set of text here, and then you should click Add Customer manually. Now you have to add the first customer, and we know that's Alan Arby. And you could also add the customer as the company name. And of course, and look what happens when we click Save. We're right here in only Alan Arby's information. We can make a new transaction with just Alan. We can click Edit and go back to his permanent information if we want to add things like phone number and other things like email address and so on. We can click out of this by clicking over here where it says Customers, and now we're back at the regular customer list, and you can see only Alan Arby is on this list. To add a new customer, just scroll up and click New Customer. The next one was Betty Boop. And put in the rest of her information. When we click Save, now we see we're in only Betty's information that we can edit or have a transaction with just Betty. When we click Customers, now we again see the customer list. We see Alan and Betty, and we can edit either of them by double-clicking on their name and then clicking Edit for their permanent information, or staying here in that customer's specific dashboard. In the future, you will be able to see a list of transactions for that customer right here in the Customer Center list. For example, if I click Alan Arby's name, I can see where it says Customer Details, all the permanent information that we were editing before. You should also know that if you click Transaction List, you will see a list of every transaction that you've had with this customer since the beginning when you put the customer on the list. And in the future, we will make transactions and you can check this. So let's put our third and final customer on the customer list. New customer, Candy Charles. And we click Save, and here we are. We're back in just only Candy's information with no transaction yet, but we can click Customer Details and edit anything we need. If we click Customers, we're back at the main customer list, and now we're finished setting up our customers, and we're able to record
customer and receivable type of transactions.
The good news is that putting in and managing vendor data is exactly the same as putting in and managing customer data.
If we open the customer list by clicking Sales, Customers, then we should open the vendors list by clicking Expenses and Vendors. You'll notice that if it's the first time you're going to the vendors list, you have to click Add Vendor manually, and you get the input vendor information that looks just like the input customer information that we dealt with a moment ago. We can skip directly to the company name and type it in. And of course, we type in the information. Click Save, and you can see that Con Edison is the first vendor on the list. Now, Verizon is the second vendor, so we click New Vendor, Verizon, and put in the rest of the Verizon information. Click Save, and now we're back at the vendor list, and we can see that Verizon has been added. Let's add Staples and UPS. Scroll up to get New Vendor, Staples, and lastly, we have UPS, New Vendor, Company, click Save, and just like the customers on the customer list, if you click Expense and Vendors, you can click on the vendor name and then always click Edit Vendor to go back to any of the permanent information that you'd like to change or add if you need to, like your own vendor's database. In addition to that, you can click Vendor Details to see the permanent information you entered, and while this specific vendor is open, you can click Transaction List, and in the future, you will be able to see a list of every transaction for that specific vendor. You'll even be able to filter to control how it displays all the transaction for that vendor.